Oh, we're fucked, dude. It's the end of the world.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
shit, we're live. Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with you, Daily Low with your host Matt McGregor and the fantastic Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate?
Well, not great. Total disaster in the charts across the board on everything. Everything is going down. Shit, maybe the U.S. government should have stayed, dysfunctional. But let's look at the charts. Should you want to go first? Should I go first? What do you want to do?
You go first because I'm going to end positive.
Okay.
So you give me.
There's not
I'm
gonna be
gonna.
much positive.
Hey,
I don't
there's
know.
a hook for the end of the show. My marketing team tells me bait and hook them. Tell them at the start there's a big surprise at the end, and I've got a surprise for you. I've got some silver lining stuff for you, which is really
Oh,
good.
speaking
So,
of, other than silver, I don't have much positive.
all right, let's do it. Let's crack on. Hey,
All right, let me go to the charts here. All right, I'm gonna go with a short-term chart first this time. This was that trend line that we drew, and last time we did a show, we didn't do a show yesterday. I was busy. Matt was busy. I did two 3 hour streams in a row on my personal channel with the core versus knots debate, which you guys definitely want to check out. And we had this trend line where Bitcoin on the hourly bounced perfectly off the MRI top, and then it got rejected by the MRI resistance line. And our last show was right here, right as we were going into this resistance line. And then once we got off the show, we fell a bit. And yesterday's show would have been right in this area at 102, 103. So it wasn't in a it wasn't important enough. Like Bitcoin wasn't crashing, it wasn't rallying. So I was like, hey, we don't really need a show. And then right after that, it was a total disaster. And now what you want to keep in mind is this mess is completely correlated with the stock market once again, right? So here we have the daily chart of the stock market and the daily chart of Bitcoin. The only difference is, well, not much of a difference, right? October 28th, when the stock market made a new all-time high, Bitcoin did not make a new all-time high. It made a lower high. Now, had the stock market kept going, I still believe Bitcoin would have made it to a new all-time high. But it did not. It made a lower high here on Wednesday, and so did Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin on Wednesday making that lower high. And now the stock market has broken below the October 7th low. And Bitcoin also broke below its October 7th low. The big difference is that the stock market has not broken the lows of October 10th. And Bitcoin is significantly lower than the lows of October 10th. And in fact, Bitcoin is now sitting all the way at November 8th. And because the stock market is not a 24-hour market, like Bitcoin is, November 8th is probably, let me see, Bitcoin is here. Oh, sorry, Bitcoin is as low as, not November 8th, May 7th. And the stock market on May 7th was over here. So the stock market is significantly higher, and Bitcoin is in the red for the year.
Bitcoin is lower than when Donald Trump was put in office.
Yeah, it's also lower than the famous tweet I got crucified for in November of last year when Bitcoin hit 98,000, and I said, "Hey guys, this could be like a serious top. Maybe it's time to get out." And it's now been a year, and we're sitting lower than that. I really wonder if Tyler Jenks would have been in this market right now, or just staying out of it, waiting for some more confirmation.
I like to think, without speaking for Tyler, which I would never do, that Tyler would have been in sort of the position I've been in the last few weeks when the wave's been red, saying that I wouldn't touch this. You know, I made the famous quote, "I wouldn't touch this" with your member, and I got a heap of heat for that. But that's pretty much how I felt since the wave went red. I saw some little day trades coming to fruition here and there, but I've been a bull. I think that people would agree with that. A bear, I should say.
So here we are on the monthly chart. The monthly chart is at a red 1 with the MRI. I just don't see how this month is going to recover all the way into a green candle. So what we can hope for is something like this, where we reset the MRI count by by one candle, basically. This is a proper reset. This is not one of those spirit of the indicator situation, because there's no debate that this candle, if it closed a little bit higher, it would have had a green 6. No, this candle needed to close like higher than this wick to have a green 6. So this is not one of those situations. So we reset the count and then we went to new highs. So there's a chance that we could recover. But from the TA perspective, this is, there's nothing here. There's nothing here in TA that's going to reverse us. I saw Matthew pulled up the comment. This is the start of a bear market. Watch us a few episodes ago. I don't know if it was yesterday's episode or the episode before, where I explained that because of the consolidated top, it's very hard for me to call a bear market. The only time I can call a bear market, or I can call, it's not that I'm calling a bear market, it's just that I'm calling the top. It was very easy for me to call the top in 2017. It was very difficult for me to call the top in 2021, because neither of these was an MRI top, and it was pretty much a double top to me, closer than a higher high. And just like over here with this cup and handle situation in May of 24, I was not calling for a top at all, even though we had an MRI top here. This was consolidation, and this was the best time based on cycle analysis that we're going to go higher. Now we're in a situation where we also have this consolidated top, similar to what we had in early 2024, calling for more upside. What we don't have this time around versus early last year is the cycle phase is not as strong as the cycle phase back then. But I can't call a top here because Bitcoin never went up exponential. We are still very much significantly low when it comes to, this is the bottom cycle. Hold on. We are still, that actually doesn't matter, the black charts thing. We are so much lower than the rises in all prior cycles. So I am not calling the bear market yet. In order for me to call the bear market, we do need the price of Bitcoin to fall into the 70s. I just don't see it. 1 second, man.
While you're sneezing, go watch the show from 2 days ago, because I made it very clear that when the wave is red, I consider every red wave a bear market in the making. It doesn't mean it has to go into a bear market. This doesn't have to go into a bear market. But I sold like 5 indicators this week from that show we did 2 days ago. When the wave is red, I'm cautious as hell. I'm not taking every little day trade to the long side. I'm looking for something greater, and I'll talk about it more in the coming minutes of this show. But it's what I said. I'm looking for downside targets, and that's why we have this really elegant system of, it doesn't have to be as black and white as a bull market, bear market, but it can be cautious and not taking daily 1 hour setup longs. And then when the wave is green, we're taking every buy the dip. We're just not taking buy the dips until something significant when the wave is red. Sorry, Tone, continue.
No, it's fine. So here's a daily chart. This is an absolute perfect downwards parallel channel. 1 second, guys. Whoa. I'm not sick. I don't know why this is happening. And should have a water. I've never seen a channel this perfect. Look at this. We have this is the start. We have the absolute perfect touch. We have 2 candles crossing the channel on the wicks without the bodies. We have this wick here perfectly coming into a touch along with the moving average rejection. We have 2 wicks here, basically, bottom of the candle body, wick touches it perfectly, and now we're sitting right here. I mean, 10 a.m. reversal should be useful, but this is not good. This is just not good at all. All right, let's go to Bitcoin dominance is looking good. I mean, at least the shit coins are crashing harder.
Definitely.
Gold. Gold is on a monthly MRI warning candle. So the top is coming next month. And silver, once again, I believe silver has topped. If you look, this is the this chart is slightly different than the future that I'm actually trading, but it is the silver chart. It tried to break to new highs. It failed as well. I mean, silver was, wow, what was that? Silver has really been pissing me off a bit, but oil chart, S&P chart. Here's my silver chart. So as I've been saying for the last few days, I still have my silver trade on. This was very, very concerning right here, because this was basically pushing my limit to just, remember what I said on yesterday's stream? There is a probability that I would get out like to the penny of the top. And you guys have no idea that almost happened. I mean, you have no idea how close that came. If this went to 55 cents, I probably like 55, 60 cents, I would have exited. So like right here.
Would you have exited all of it, or just like 50% or 25%, or what would your plan have been if it had kept rocketing?
Honestly, I would have exited like 50%, and if it went up like another 20 cents, I would have exited the rest.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Well, like it wasn't gonna be like, oh, I'm exiting 50%, and then I got like 2 more of these candles to wait. It would have been, I'm just gonna exit like 50% just in case I'm completely unlucky. But if it goes a little bit higher, I gotta pull the whole thing. You know?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't gonna wait another one of these candles. It was like, I'm exiting, but just for my sanity, I want to wait like another 1/4%.
Well, this is what we said all week. You go back and watch the shows all week. I'm not saying we're always right. I'll be the first to admit when I'm wrong, and it happens more often than not. Ask my wife. But we've been saying, look, Tone, we think you'll be right on this silver trade. It's just a matter of timing it. Like whether it's just what day are you short on this thing? And it's turned out to be right. Once again, Tone, well done, mate.
Well, it's not right yet, right? Like I still need silver to go below this candle. Like I still need silver.
I think regardless of whether, if it could recover from here, hitting that moving average and recover, but just going to an all-time high and being a contrarian is not many people have ever been successful doing that. They're right like once every 30 years, and you were contrarian on silver at its all-time high, basically. And so whether even if it's just a blip and drops like, whatever, 5% or something like that, it's still pretty impressive that you are feeling that shudder in the water, I think.
Yeah, and keep in mind, well, like I said in the show the other day, when you are trying to pick a daily top, right? When you are trying to short this daily MRI top, right? You have a 3-day window to know if you made the right trade, right? It's the end of the day on the warning candle. You're like, hey, tomorrow is the MRI top candle. We can top right here. We can top anywhere on this candle, or the following candle could still bring you a top, and it's still within the parameters. You have a 3-day window to know if this MRI daily top is the top. When you move to a weekly chart, you have a 3-week window to identify the top. Like this is your reversal warning candle. Shit, I don't fault anyone for shorting this candle right here for silver, because the MRI top is coming next candle. And look what happened next candle. So obviously, this is the MRI top candle. We did go a little bit higher on this week, but this was fucking weird. But shorting this candle at anywhere in the candle was a very profitable trade, because the next week we also had an extension C. So you have this 3-week topping pattern. You can look at the prior MRI top. Again, you have a 3-week window to short this, and it was a profitable trade. Is there another one? Beautiful. Here's another 3-week window. The window could technically start here. This was the best time to do it, but here it is. The following candle after the MRI top was the top in silver. So you have this 3-week window to catch the perfect top. So that's now the last 3 MRI tops in a row where you certainly had a profitable trade if you timed it right. But your timing is a 3-candle area, and you got to try to time it as best you can. Now we're dealing with a monthly MRI top. So you have a 3-month window that started last month, and it's this month, and it's even the following month. So it was never going to be an easy trade, and I'm still confident in my silver short.
It's a really interesting question about Michael Burry closing his Scion fund, and he is now shorting the market. He was right. He is right, but wrong by about a year. He closed his last fund in 2007. History repeats. Maybe there's a very smart man, and I just put up my Estee Lauder trade. I bought Estee Lauder from seeing Michael Burry tweet about Estee Lauder, and I'm still up as it stands right now, 42% in my trade, but it got as high as 64% in Estee Lauder. Maybe I'll close out Estee Lauder as it stands right now and take the 42%. Not bad. Michael Burry's made me some money this year already, so maybe we should listen to the man.
So in my experience, big, famous people become big and famous on the one trade they get right. And they don't really get a lot of things right after that.
Be careful, Tone. You might be talking about yourself there for a second. So
potentially.
Just kidding.
But there were other big players in 2008 that made it huge. Paulson Funds was one of them. Yeah. I think they were the biggest winners from 2008. They just weren't in the movies, so that's why the average person doesn't know how well Paulson Funds. Not ironically, Paulson was also the name of the Treasury Secretary that had to manage the 2008 crash. Not that Paulson, a different Paulson that actually had a hedge fund that I think they made more than Michael Burry's funds. And after that, he went all in on gold in 2011 at the top. So a lot of these things are, a lot of these people ride the coattails of their fame for a while, even though now that everyone is watching and dissecting their every public decision, it's very hard for them to...
right. They've lost their competitive edge.
To be right like that again.
Right. Well, I'm up 40% on Estee Lauder, so I don't mind that.
This is why I don't pay attention to what the big boys are doing, because the only reason you've heard of them is because they've probably finished their luck. I mean, we can look at Cathie Wood as well, right?
Right.
Okay, Matt, I think it's time for you to take the floor.
All right, I'm going to hit you with some silver linings, and you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
All right. I'll open your charts up. There you go.
Is this okay? Before we go any further, come back to the main screen. Before we go any further, guys, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. We have a fantastic Discord community. Never had so many signups. It is going crazy over there. This is the time. Anybody can sing when they're winning. And that's fun to do, send memes and sing when you're winning. But it's more important to have a community that wants you, that can like-minded individuals. There's 3 or 4 girls in there and 10,000 guys. They're all there to support you. It's a great way to be. And even in this situation, go ahead, Tone. Shoot, man.
No, finish. I want to make one comment before you go to the charts.
Yeah, I mean, even the bots themselves, Bitcoin's down 30%. All the bots across the board are like above that, a lot above that. They're either break even or they're slightly in profit or slightly below. They've done better than you just punting away without you knowing. trust me about this. All right, Tone, go ahead, mate. What were you going to
One
say?
quick comment. Look, the ETFs help drive us up, and the ETFs are going to help drive us down. Like, don't ever forget that. Don't forget the fact that in the last bull and bear market, we only had one ETF, GBTC, and it only had the ability to buy Bitcoin. It never had the ability to sell the Bitcoin. That's not the case anymore. All of these ETFs, though the only one that matters is really BlackRock because it's holding more than all the rest of them combined. The ETF can sell the underlying Bitcoin, something GBTC was not able to do. So if the bear market is here and it's going to be with us for a year, it's going to be a little bit uglier than in prior bear markets. That's all I want to say.
I was going to give a silver lining thing, so let's focus on the silver lining thing. All right. 3-day time frame. I'm going to start the 3-day time. Oh, I'll start on the weekly. Hell, we got time. We got time to breathe. Let's just take a break. Let's take a breath. I always said losing the 50 simple week moving average, bad, right? It's bad. It's 2.5 days left. I think this is considerably lost, right? And I always thought that sort of signifies a bear market in many respects. There's like a system to alphanumerics, and there'll be a Black Friday sale for 40% off. So wait till Friday if you want to purchase this. But like I've got like little triggers in place that are like indicators that things are going bad. The same way I've got them to the upside. We're about to get a bearish cross, which is 7 crossing the 30. Not good. Okay. Sometimes that could just be like a rounding off, space like that. Sometimes it can be like 7 crossing the 30. We're totally effed. But it's not a good signal, right? The MRI is not a good signal. The wave being red is not a good signal. And very, very importantly, the 50 simple moving average on the weekly, in a bull market, that's not getting penetrated to the downside, closing weekly candles below it. There's nothing good can come from that. I'm being very careful how I talk about this because I'm gonna give you a silver lining. All right. We're going to go through some of the oscillators. The copy curve went bearish. The copy curve's been pointed straight down for a long time, and I've been saying I want this to cross below 0 because I want the momentum to come back up. I don't mind this loop. Don't mind it because when it all starts to round again, things will be sunnier again when this thing starts to round. It's not doing that yet. The RSI, flat down, okay, on the weekly, on every single indicator. The Socrates ZXA, flat down, but it's getting lower. It's getting lower, which we don't mind. Like let's just say this thing drops like a stone. This is all going to come together with my point towards the end on a great Friday show to give you a silver lining. This is going to come down, 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 but it's going to get low. Imagine how low this EXA can get. Real low. -4, -5, who knows? We're not there yet. But it's going to look really, really interesting if with this thing crashes. I want this thing to crash fast. I want this fast flash crash down to 70, 60. Who gives a shit? I'm not picking targets. I'm looking at technical analysis. All of these indicators are going to look tragic at that point. Like the MACD, tragic at this point. Why didn't you just sell back when it had a bearish cross and the volume went red? No brainer, right? I'm sure you all did that. But this is all going to roll over. All of this will roll over. These lines here can get way below the price. Don't think it has to cross above the price. But what's going to happen when these things go way negative and cross over? Obviously, we've got some momentum to the upside. Okay, so now I'm going to point out something really, really, something that you can take into the weekend. I bring up the 3-day chart on alphanumerics. How often have we ever had 3-day green diamonds? All right, let's just scan back in time for a second on the Bitcoin chart. Oh, it's a 3-week. That's why there's none there. We're going to go 3-day. I urge you right now to wait till Friday, get alphanumerics if you don't have it, and study this. All right, 3-day time frame. We are looking for green diamonds to come in. When was the last one we had? All right, I'm going way back. This is way back when I met Tone. Before I met Tone, we had 2 down at 30,000 and another at 21,000. That's before I met Tone. Before I met Tone was the last time we had a green diamond on the 3-day time frame. Put that in. Think about that for a second. I've known Tone for nearly 4 years, 3.5 years in person. I mean, crazy. That was the last time we had a 3-day green diamond. The one before that, well, we all know what that's going to be. The COVID crash, right? That's the last green diamond we had prior to that. The one before that, well, you could probably guess. Back when Tone was calling for $3,000, $1,500, whatever it was, back there, green diamond on the 3-day. There's only another couple, sporadic couple that have ever happened prior to that. Well, there's one right here, the absolute bottom at bloody $200, and another couple that came in on that crash as well. But there's been nothing before that. Nothing. Let's just say there's been six or seven green diamonds that have ever occurred on the 3-day time frame. Now, I'm going to blow your mind here and go to the weekly time frame. Fans of mine will know what I'm going to
Has it ever happened? Has it ever happened on a weekly?
I'm about to blow.
I saw one. If you go to the left,
I'm about to blow your balls off. People don't like when I say balls. I mean tennis balls. Hey, there's been one at the absolute bottom the week before a few weeks before I met you, Tone, which was right here in October 2022, and that was in my presentation. I was screaming. I'm still in this trade to this day, screaming buy Bitcoin, at or below a green diamond on the weekly. The previous before that, the COVID crash had one. It was a green diamond right here at 3,200, and then the price rallied, so it wasn't able to print. But there was one right there. Another one, absolute bottom of the bear market. Going back in time. Wow, absolute bottom. Once again, $200. Guys, I can't make this shit up. This is right here for you. For sale on Black Friday sale. If you're not paying attention to this, these once in a generational buys, which I've been screaming for 7 years, you've lost your mind. Because my point is, we're a fair way away from a weekly green diamond right now. Granted. But when the wave is red, I'm always looking for a weekly green diamond. But my first port of call is a 3-day green diamond. Because we've only ever had about 6 or 7 of them. And they have never been a wrong time to DCA into Bitcoin if you're thinking a long-term buy. I'll repeat that. The green diamonds have never been a wrong time to DCA into Bitcoin if you're looking long-term. And we are actually close to one right now. There's no reason we can't come down, hit 88 on the 3-day 200 simple moving average, grab a green diamond, and at least see a pump back up to the moving averages. Who knows? Don't think of them as a trade. Think of them as an investment. And that is all I wanted to say to you today. I want to copy and cut this show. Tone, I'm back in the studio right now. This is really the foundation of everything I've ever done in Bitcoin. It's my magnus opus. This green diamond on the 3-day and weekly thing. You pay attention. If I'm wrong, I'll say sorry, but I'm very serious about this. Tone, you got a question? What's up, mate?
Yeah, I want to reply to a couple of questions. So someone says, if you were trapped in this move without taking a chance to sell, by the way, guys, I made it very clear I was exiting all my Bitcoin longs. If I was trapped in my Bitcoin longs right now, if I had enough money to, keep up with my day-to-day, I would not panic sell. I don't like to panic sell. I would wait. Now, if the price bounces back to 100K, would I take the exit then? Possibly. But I think Bitcoin can bounce here any day. I'm still bearish right now, but I'm bear. But because it has fallen so much in the last 3 weeks, or in the last 7 weeks, if you want to go from the all-time high, I wouldn't want to panic sell now because we have fallen from 125,000 to 95,000. That's a $30,000 fall. That's pretty significant, right? Like that. People are still tweeting, oh, this account from 2010 just sold their Bitcoin. There's not a lot of those left, right? So I think that massive selling is coming to an end. So I just, I would not panic sell. Let me put it this way. But the right move would have been to get out way earlier. But right now, I wouldn't panic sell. Again, unless you are cutting into significant wealth, then you have to. Then you have no choice. Unfortunately, that means you are over leveraged to begin with. The other question is Bitcoin somehow tied to Trump? No, it is not. Everyone heard Trump's very first speech about Bitcoin at the Bitcoin conference that he ended it with, have fun playing with your coins. Okay, everyone knows Trump doesn't understand Bitcoin. He's not tied to Bitcoin. The Bitcoin bills that the government tried to pass were a complete cluster F that never passed. The federal government did not buy any Bitcoin. In fact, the federal government has a chance to buy Bitcoin right now at the lowest possible price since Trump took office. So if anything, Trump still has a chance to tie himself to Bitcoin in a positive way. He's not tied to Bitcoin in a negative way whatsoever. Another good question is, thanks, it's hard. Oh, wow. Actually, it's hard posted that. The market is preparing for a no rate cut in the Fed. I don't agree with that statement because when the stock market crashes, the Fed rate cut is a default. It's an automated thing. It's like you don't even need a Fed share, right? You can automate this with a bot that if the stock market crashes X, the interest rate has to be moved down Y. It's automatic. And the more and faster the stock market crashes, closer to the Fed day, the more likely they are to lower the cut. In fact, if the stock market was to crash 6% tomorrow, they will have an emergency meeting and lower the rate, right? So
yeah, I agree completely, especially because Trump, and I'm with Trump, made, always references the stock market as he's like how the economy is going. That's his barometer of how the economy is going, is how the stock market's going, which is not true. Obviously, we all know that, but he's constantly mentioning it. He can't have a crashing stock market. No way it's going to happen. Agreed?
Agreed. And this whole concept of a plunge protection team, and the Federal Reserve is part of the plunge protection team. And the plunge protection team has one job. They have one job: stop the stock market from crashing. And their best tool, it's not their only tool. They can print money too, right? But
it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Their primary tool is to lower the interest rate. And when they can't lower the interest rate anymore, they go to their secondary tool, which is printing money. And then they go to their third tool, which is printing money and giving it away, right? Because their second tool of printing money, they're not going to give it to the pleb on the street. They're going to give it to their insider friends by printing that money. But then when shit really hits the fan, like 2008 and COVID, now they're printing money, to appease the masses from coming for their heads. That's when you get those $600 checks, $400 checks. And so their first tool is lowering the rate when the stock market crashes, and the stock market is crashing. So
there's a cute question here. It's like, basically the gist of it is like, well, if it comes out that Trump's involved in these Epstein files, blah 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 blah. No, it doesn't matter. Do you still think it matters? Nothing matters. Nothing matters. You can be the president of America and have your son doing horrible, immoral things, and nothing happens. Nothing's going to happen. It doesn't matter if he's all over the Epstein files. It doesn't matter. You still think it matters? It don't matter.
The Epstein thing matters, but not to the stock market. Like, it matters to Trump's legacy. It matters to Trump's presidency. It matters a lot, but not in the economic realm. If that's where you're headed.
They can just put somebody else in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just there's only one side, and it doesn't matter. No big deal.
So
it'll keep going.
I'll answer this question as well. Hey, Tone, do you have any bullish positions in Bitcoin at the moment, or 100% cash? I don't want to answer this question too honestly. So what I'm going to say is I have no trading positions on the bullish side of Bitcoin. So Let's assume you're asking me this question in 2006 or 2007, before Bitcoin existed. Do I have any bullish positions on the stock market? The answer is no. I have all my cash in the bank, and I don't have any bullish positions on any speculative assets. Right. My only trading position right now is a short on silver, and it's a pretty hefty one. Okay.
Yeah, and we got asked a question 2 days ago, like, Matt, are you selling your Bitcoin now for cash or whatever? And I'm not going to answer that either, but I don't even have a bank account. So the answer is no. I'm always in a Bitcoin trade, if you think of it as a trade, but I don't think of it as a trade. Right?
We're going to go. We're getting good questions, man. Someone says I'm 100% in on Bitcoin Mini, which is the, I think, GBTC Mini future. With my life savings, however, I can live paycheck to paycheck. Am I crazy? It depends on your paycheck.
No, he's already clarified that he can live comfortably paycheck to paycheck. So
no. It doesn't say comfortably.
Oh. That's right. That is a big difference. You're right.
It depends on your paycheck. Okay. I think we could. All right. Is there a particular moving average that corresponds to Tone's 70K-ish Bitcoin bear market range he mentioned earlier? No, there isn't, right? Because if there was a moving average there, that would be my bullet. That would be my buy the dip, and that's the concerning part is that there is nothing really in that zone. And
I have an idea. It's got to be monthly.
No, still don't.
Monthly 30. Does that mean anything?
It means very little, but again, you have to get to it. I mean, that monthly 30 is rising very quickly. It's rising like 3,000-4,000 a month, right? So unless we get there this month, that thing is going to be closer to 80 by the time we get to it.
Right. Tony, it's Friday. It's Friday night, man. It's Friday night. It's free me from this hell that I'm living in, watching Bitcoin, watching my wealth dissipate. But you know what? Please take note of what I said in tonight's show. Once every 4 years, I go up to the rooftop and start screaming about green diamonds, and no one ever listens. I've got like a really core, I'm not going to say fan base, a really core following of like 15 people that I've made a lot of money for, that have listened to me in the past. And I respect you and love you guys a lot. I want that number to grow. Take note of what I've said. It's not nothing. And on that bombshell, have a wonderful weekend. Tony and I appreciate you every day that you've come and spent your time with us. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Thanks, guys. And we are up $1,000 since the show pretty much started. So,
well, that's what I said. That's what I said.
All right. Thank you all for watching, guys, and see you all on the next one.